Pokémon Pocket TCG came out a little over a month and a half ago, and so far has been a smashing success. And although the game can be slightly janky, for instance, why can't I just bulk buy things? Why do I have to go into it like individually? But tiny things like that will be ironed out over time, I'm sure. And overall, the game has a very good foundation. But at the moment, unfortunately, after you open your 2 free pack today and you did a couple of battles, there's kind of nothing left to do. And like any other live service games, you know that more content is on the way. For example, we have the Mythical Islands releasing tomorrow on December 17th, but is releasing new cards enough to keep people interested long term? To a certain extent, yes, of course, but I think there's still more that can be done. So today we're going to go over 3 things I think Pokémon Pocket TCG should add. So without further ado, let's go right into the first thing I think they should add. I think one thing that is really missing from this game, and a lot of people would agree, is that there is a lack of endgame content. Of course, there's different ways you can play this game. Some people plain out do not care about battling. All they want to do is open cards and try to see if they can collect them all. And of course, so that they can eventually get this secret immersive Mew. And if that's how you choose to play, that is completely valid. But I don't think it's a stretch to believe that, the Pokemon Company probably intended for us to open the cards, then battle with them. But that being said, for those who do play the game that way, you'll quickly realize that there's no endgame content. Yes, you can fight people online, which is fun, but you don't really have an incentive to do it though. Because after you receive your 5 shop tickets for the day, there's no real reason to keep playing, because there is no benefit to reap. So what the game should introduce is a ranking system. And here's my idea on how this could loosely work. I am a big fan of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you look at another Nintendo mobile game, they already have a template that they could use. Fire Emblem Heroes is 8 years old, and over the years, they've implemented countless new game modes. But one of the very first game modes that they received was an arena mode, which was a semi-pseudo PvP mode. You didn't fight players in real time, instead a computer would control their units for them. So all you had to do was build your team, set it up in arena, and then it would just do its thing. And over the course of the season, and a season would be 1 week long, it would start on Tuesday and end on Monday, players kept fighting for points, and at the end of the season, if you had enough points, it would bring you up in the ranks. Then in the next season, you would fight higher ranked players, and do the same thing over and over again. But your goal for each week was trying to go up in the ranks. The way it could work in Pokémon Pocket TCG is first you would have to establish how long a season is, whether it be 1 week, 2 weeks, doesn't necessarily matter. I would think a shorter season would be better, but instead of fighting against computers, we would fight against real opponents, considering the game already has a live matchmaking system. But even though I think we should be able to fight real people, I think we should still have to, put a defending deck, just in case for whatever reason there's a matchmaking issue where they have a hard time finding a live player. You never lose points if you lose a battle, you can only gain them if you win. This way, you're guaranteed that if you enter a match, you will find an opponent to fight. And who knows, let's say somebody fights your defending deck and loses, you might be able to gain a couple of points just by literally doing nothing. And considering you would be fighting these battles in order to move up in the ranks, you could simply call this mode Battle Tower, like in the games. And each tier could be a floor of the Battle Tower, and the goal of course would be to get to the top of the Battle Tower. And once you get there, you could get a badge to put on your profile. Moving on, the next thing I think they should add is actually something that somebody commented on my last video about this game, and that is gym badges. And I think these gym badges can easily lead into even more endgame content. The way this could work is everyone would be given a trainer card. For anyone who has actually played the main series games, they are like your personal ID in the Pokemon world. I think it could be really cool if you were able to kind of customize your own trainer card and display it on your profile. Currently, all original 151 Pokemon are in the game from Kanto, so there's no reason that they can't do a Kanto Gym Challenge right now. The way this could work is you could make it kind of in the style of Pokemon Stadium 64. You would start off by fighting a couple of trainers, maybe 3, who all use Pokemon of the same type as the gym leader. Once you take down every opponent in the gym, then you get to fight the gym leader. And of course, once you beat the gym leader, you would get the badge, which can go on your trainer card. This way, your trainer card kind of acts as an incentive to keep fighting, because you'll want to complete the whole card and fill in all the 8 gym badges. And if they really wanted to go all out with this, they could add 5 more slots for the Elite Four and the Champion. And of course, I'm not saying they have to add every single gym challenge for every single region, all 9 regions all at once. But slowly over time, you would just add another one and another one, then another one. maybe once all the Pokemon from the Johto region is added, they could start with that one. Personally, I think it's kind of just low-hanging fruit, and I'd be genuinely shocked if they didn't do anything like this in the future anyways, such as just like, themed battles. But before we move on to my next suggestion, I have one quick little thing to say, and that is, hey, my name's Acadrien, and I post weekly Nintendo videos, just like this. So if you've been enjoying the video so far, I would greatly appreciate it if you would simply consider to like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's go right back into the video. And for my next suggestion, I really do think they should consider adding new fighting formats. Some of you might be aware that there is a community of people that do not like fighting with the EX cards. Although I personally don't necessarily understand it, I know that, what they've been doing so far is using the private matching system. By entering the code NOEX, they're hoping that only people that don't want to use EX codes are going to use it, and then they can have the battles that they want. But like I said, even though I don't necessarily understand why they don't want to use EX cards, I think it would still lead to an interesting format. Therefore, I think Pokemon Pocket TCG should seriously consider adding this format just officially, because you would get to see a lot of cards that don't typically get used get played a lot more. But why not go even one step further and just add complete custom rules? Of course, this wouldn't be a widespread feature, it would just be for private matches. But I think it could lead to a lot of fun things, such as maybe you can only use basic Pokemon while also them not being EX. Or maybe you can only use Pokemon from a certain type, so maybe in a certain battle you can only use electric type, or maybe you can only use fighting type. I think it could also lead to a lot of fun community tournaments where they could create just some really random rules that could just ultimately lead to a lot of fun battles. But now is when I turn to you. What do you think Pokemon Pocket TCG should add to the game? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, try checking out this one next, where I go over why I was completely wrong about this game. And until next time, Wa-down.